Please welcome His Excellency.
I'm very pleased and honored to welcome you, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to this Global Peace Leadership Conference, East Africa 2015. Global Peace Foundation believes that humanity is one family under God. It works to highlight the positive points and mutual interest of everyone in peace and prosperity. The promotion of peace, security, and sustainable development is the motto for this conference. We are called upon to use our experiences, our knowledge to draw up strategies for forging lasting peace, security, and hence development. Such strategies shall also be drawn from the presentations by prominent politicians, scholars, religious leaders, and other stakeholders. For this reason, we are convening the Global Peace Leadership Conference and the first assembly of the African Leadership Mission, which will include many honored former heads of state, regional leaders, interfaith partners, youth leaders, and business executives who are committing their unique leadership experience and personal prestige to the cause of East African unity, peace, and prosperity. I sincerely thank you all.
Thank you very much, His Excellency President Karume. As we continue our program, I would like to welcome our first speaker, who's Ambassador Dr. Richard Sizibera, who is the Secretary General of East Africa Community. Please, welcome.
I wish to thank you, Your Excellency Karume, for agreeing to co-chair this conference and for your leadership. Thank you, Mr. Flynn, International President of the Global Peace Foundation, for conceptualizing the conference. I'm therefore glad that this conference is being held here, and we at the East African community are extremely privileged to be co-conveners. In our region, there is a vibrancy, a sense of hope, an optimism we have not seen in a very, very long time. We need to nurture this. And yet, there is the dark underbelly of violence, of identity-based ideological extremism, of the glorification of destructive violence against the different other as an affirmation of one's own uniqueness. Identities change, and they can be changed. They can be used for good, or they may serve as the bedrock of conflict. National, ethnic, religious, racial, political, or gender-based identities can serve as glues of society, or they may serve to divide society. It is a result of our realization that peace and security are our collective responsibility, that they require the involvement of all sectors of our society: religious leaders, youth, women groups, local leaders, security forces, private sector, parliamentarians, and others. Yes, peace, security, and sustainable development require that we realize first and foremost that we are and we must act as our brothers and sisters' keeper. With these remarks, I wish you success in your deliberations. God bless East Africa. Asanteni sana.
I would like now to welcome Ambassador Tewelde Reda, who's the Director for Peace and Security Division in the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. Please welcome him.
Thank you so much. I feel privileged to be with you today in this beautiful city, the island of Zanzibar. IGAD attaches a lot of value to our building relationships with the Global Peace Foundation, with the ECA, and others. And I think that GPA, ECA, COMESA is doing commendable work in using innovative means in promoting peace and security in the East Africa.
Without further ado, I would like to welcome our third speaker, Mr. Jim Flynn, who is the international president of Global Peace Foundation.
It is indeed an honor to participate in this very meaningful and relevant Global Peace Leadership Conference and Youth Summit here in Zanzibar. Our convening here is very meaningful as it takes place in a region that is a cradle of ancestral human development dating back more than 3 million years. Also, historically, Zanzibar has served as a bridge between East Africa and the Middle East, as a midway point between Africa and Asia. Zanzibar has had a long history of pluralism, adaptation, and tolerance. That legacy provides a significant context for the crucial issues that we are addressing. East Africa has become a focal point of a global crisis of violent extremism and radicalization of youth. Globalization brings us into close contact with people different than us. While that affords us rich opportunity, it can also lead to serious identity-based conflicts. When such conflicts are framed in religious terms, fueled by extremist interpretations, and rapidly broadcast through worldwide social networks, the threats can escalate with global implications. Conflicts are often fueled by false or limited perception of our own identity. We trust or mistrust others based on tribal or ethnic origins, the religion that one practices, or the color of one's skin. But these can become limited, short-sighted markers of identity if we allow them to hinder our sense of our true and most essential identity, the one that is shared by all humanity. A global consensus is urgently needed to uplift the essence of our common humanity. Let us use the opportunity of this convening as a catalyst for action, based on a common purpose, that together we can build an Africa that is truly one people with one destiny. In doing so, you will also create a shining example to the world that we can all live as one family under God. Asante Sana, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Jim, for a very great and deep word. One family under God.
We are very honored to be present here and to listen to these very important speeches pertaining to peace. We come out with resolutions and ideas and suggestions that will assist our continent to stem threats to peace. Because only with peace can we expect to develop, can we expect to go forward as per our aspirations in order to make it possible for our young people to have a great future. I'm proud to see that so many young people have turned up for this important conference. I was saying to President Amani Karume that look at this very massive attendance, confirming how important the young people attach to the subjects that we are discussing today. Thank you once again for inviting me. I'm greatly honored, and I shall participate, and I shall join everyone in broadcasting what we shall agree as our suggestions for attaining and confirming peace great continent. Thank you.
I would like to say that Kenya is fully behind this initiative. We have hosted it twice before. We're giving full support, and whatever will be decided here will be communicated to my superiors for full and total implementation. Because we want a peaceful East Africa. We want an East Africa where young people will be making progress in their aspirations in life. We want an East Africa that is peaceful, an East Africa that develops and becomes an example to the rest of the world. Our young men and women who mean well, and I'm sure in the very near future, the leaders of East Africa will come from amongst yourselves. They don't come from others.
I'm very pleased to join you this year in this Global Peace Leadership Conference. Let me applaud the conveners for bringing together stakeholders from the political, the religious, the government, and civil society to deliberate strategies to promote peace, security, and sustainable development in East African region. This is the time for Africa. African continent has gone through very difficult periods post-independence. The last 40 years were what we call the wasted years on our continent. When we had leadership, it was very retrogressive, that was not able to marshal the potentials of Africa, both human and natural, for faster socio-economic development of our continent. But this all has changed. For the last 15 years, we've seen much changes on the continent. Today, out of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world, 6 of them are in Africa.
We thank you very much, Honorable Raila Odinga. Now we're calling the official opening of the conference by His Excellency Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, the President of the Republic of Zanzibar, the Revolutionary Governor of Zanzibar, who is represented here by the second Vice President, Honorable Ambassador Saif Idi. Please, Honorable, welcome you to the chamber.
Your Excellencies, it is indeed a great honor to me to have been availed this opportunity to officiate the opening of this historic conference at this grand hotel in Zanzibar. Much more, it is an honor for Zanzibar to have been chosen to host this important conference on the promotion of peace, security, and sustainable development in the East African region. The presence of such a big number of distinguished personalities from all corners of the world, regardless of their geographical origin, religious belief, political and social stance, makes this a unique congregation, united by the common belief of equality and Almighty God, as one family struggling for the promotion of national, regional, and international peace and prosperity. The conference must consider best practices and proven models of conflict resolution that advance and political stability, prosperity, competitiveness, and security based on universal principles and shared values, guided by the vision of one human family. I now have the honor to declare the Global Peace Leadership Conference East Africa 2015 is officially open.
Allow me now to welcome Bishop Titus Njoe, the Bishop of Catholic Church in Dar es Salaam.
Religions should be in the forefront to promote and advocate these values, such as dignity and respect of the human person as one created in the image and likeness of God. We must cultivate positive human qualities such as tolerance, generosity, and love, forgiveness and reconciliation, justice, kindness, and solidarity. And Samites nationally and globally need to learn from the strength of other faiths, the right of issues of peace, security, sustainable development, also developing a toolkit for action, need for responsible leadership in action in protecting human rights as well as right of worship. Thank you very much for listening to me. God bless you.
The little that I want to say at this moment, I'll just give a few highlights, is the fact that at the dawn of the 21st century, a casual glance at the world affairs would suggest that religion is at the core of much of the conflicts around the world. Contemporary acts of extreme violence, such as terrorist attacks, are often justified as holy war. In the past 2 decades, religion has been at the center of most violent conflicts around the world, thereby gaining notoriety as one of the prime security challenges confronting the world today. Religion sometimes plays significant roles in communal harmony, yet it is often instrumentalized for political and other established interests to the detriment of peace and social harmony.
It's extremely important that the religious leaders, traditional rulers, and cultures draw from the rich heritage that has guided peoples over time, provided the ethical basis for the ways in which we live. And so in today's world, in the 21st century, we focus a lot on innovation and technology, and the very rapid changes in our world are also affecting central institutions within our cultures, including, most importantly, the family. And so it is, in our view, extremely important that while we're promoting entrepreneurship, while we're celebrating innovation, we recognize that technology and those kinds of things are value neutral, and that we have to imbue and invest values into how we live and guide and develop our work. Thanks very much. I'm sure we're going to have very important inputs during this session on this very important topic. Thank you.
Thank you. Is doubt faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First, I was told to give an address. Then I was asked to chair. And so what I will do is make a few short remarks and pass on the floor to my colleagues who know all about the nexus between peace and development. I think talking about peace and development is like preaching to the converted. In this room are business people, are experts around on peace. And the nexus between peace and development is obvious. But just in case a few of you have forgotten it, let me give you a few figures. I'll give you a few figures from Burundi and from Kenya. So we're not talking about theory, we're talking about practical realities. If you want to see the effect of insecurity on development, visit Bujumbura today. From 2005, between 2005 and 2010, Burundi's GDP grew an average of 4%. Between 2010 and 2015, it's been growing at an average of 4.5% on average, and was projected to hit 6.5% next year, 2016. The comparable figures for the country for the periods that time was in conflict, in the 90s and 80s, is about 2%.
I'm going basically to focus mainly on what COMESA is doing to respond to the issues of peace, conflict and instability in the region. Conflict and instability affects peace and development. We have already heard our chairperson here clearly alluded to some of the examples that actually come about due to instability and conflict. The COMESA Secretariat has therefore adopted several programs that address conflict throughout the life cycle of conflict. That is on conflict prevention, conflict resolution, and post-conflict reconstruction and development.